Hi and welcome to eRacing GP. We are at Global Edition 5. 5 editions we've had. We had 4 editions last year and we're now on to Global Edition 5. It's where you get the best racing on the Race Room game. Race Room platform, really one of the best simulator games in the world, if not the best. My name's Alex Young and next to me is Amir Hazik. Amir, really good to have you here with us as usual. You want to explain it to us? We got a lot of racing today.
Yeah, definitely. As usual, we have the 4 classes on hand to provide the day's entertainment. We have copper first, then bronze, then silver, and then gold. So 4 classes in a row and provide really good racing in all 4 of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And of course, we have to thank our sponsors. Obviously, Race Room is the main one, but then we've got these ones at the bottom as well. X Park, of course, or Extreme Park. They're all over Malaysia. You can do ATV, motocross, horse riding, a whole bunch of stuff you can do there. It's endless, really. Of course, Royal Selangor have just come on board with us as well. They're our long-time sponsors from 2019. And check this out. We got trophies this year. So this is the Endurance Edition trophy, and there'll be some coming up for the Global Edition later on, so watch the space. Of course, Motorsport Playground, they wrap cars. They're the biggest wrapper of race cars in Malaysia. Do a lot of road cars as well, and of course Life produce all the nice shirts, and the winners of the Global Edition will be getting some winner shirts as well. Now let's get to the racing, shall we?
Yep.
We can see we're at the Red Bull Ring this year. Oh, we're here for round 1. Ammo, it's a favorite track of yours?
Definitely, because it's a track that brings back a lot of pleasant memories for me, because especially when we were in our very first ERGP when it was in Malaysia, I was winner of one of the heat races during this on Gran Turismo at least, and it was on the Red Bull Ring, so a lot of memories for me, and having won a lot of races as well in other games. So yeah, looking forward to seeing this track from the outside looking in.
Well, Kelvin Pao is quickest at the moment. You can see him there in the Aquila CR1 car. So he goes through, what is that, turn 3 or turn 4?
Turn 3, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Albon's corner.
Albon's corner, of course, with Hamilton. But let's go on board with Mikko Nasi, and he could take us around for a lap of the Red Bull Ring.
Alright, welcome to the Red Bull Ring. It used to be called the Österreich Ring when it was originally built in 1969. And then also the A1 Ring in 1996, and the layout now is pretty much the same as it was in 1996, except for these asphalt runoff areas all over the place. So instead of gravel and grass, they've got asphalt, and that comes into play in places like turn 1 here. You'll notice we actually go towards the left. Gives us much wider entry into the corner, and gives us more speed going onto the straight. This long straight here is great for DRS. Definitely use it if you have it. Braking here uphill for turn 2. Just after the 100 meter board, and carefully getting on the power here on the exit. There's a crest there and it's a little bit bumpy, so it's super easy to light up the rear tires and even spin out there. And coming to our first downhill braking zone, turn 3 here. Again, using a lot of the road on the left hand side on the entry, just widen the corner for us. And patient with the throttle on the exit there as well. Now we're coming up to some of the slightly higher speed corners. Being careful of the brakes. Again, using all the road here. And then some. You probably don't want to use DRS here. The straight isn't super long. You want to save it for the start-finish straight. Turn 7. Get on the curb on the inside if you can. Patient with the throttle there for the final corner, and activate DRS again if you still have it. And that's the lap of the Red Bull Ring. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the races.
Okay, well that was Mikko Nasi taking us around in the DTM 2016 car. Those cars will be coming up later in the silver and gold category. We are right now in the Aquila CR1 cars. This is of course the copper category. This category is more for the beginners. A lot of first timers here, so we often see a bit of carnage on the first lap or so. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun indeed.
Yeah, indeed, and the fact that these cars, unlike what Miko mentioned in the lap, which he had DRS, these cars don't have DRS, so they have to overtake manually through the slipstream, and they have to actually force their way to the inside if possible, because, you know, same cars, equal performance. The only thing that makes a difference is the way that you drive it, and if you can get actually run alongside these guys. So the overtaking here is a bit more organic than what the DTMs would be like after this.
Okay, well let's look a little bit further down the order. Kelvin Pao there, quickest at the moment. And then we've got Andre Janssen from Philippines in second position. He was very quick on the leader aboard as well. Brandon Watanabe, he's in the pits lane in a moment, but his countryman as well from the Philippines. I think he's going to be a drive to watch. Sean Searle right now is very quick as well. He's P3 at the moment. Sri Murugan also is out there. He's always exciting to watch, isn't he?
Yep, the usual suspect. Actually, he's one of the very few drivers that have been from the previous seasons who's back for this one. So glad to see him actually still in this championship, and he's still committed to trying, and at least this time, mount a serious challenge for the title.
Yeah. Well, okay, so practice is over now, and we will be going to qualifying in a second. Amo, who do you think is going to be quick? Who's a favorite for you?
Definitely Kelvin, because 3/10 faster than Janssen Villeneuva. It's definitely showing that he is the guy to beat at this circuit, because he seems to be comfortable with the car and everything. Now we go to qualifying proper. We'll get to see where the talking stops and then when the actual action starts.
Yeah. Here we come to the fun bit now. Kelvin's just about to start his race. Let's ride on board with him.
Yep. And of course, this is actually this is not Kelvin Pao, but this is actually a different car. That's Kelvin on screen, but the car we're looking at is not his car. So we'll be waiting. There he is. That's his car proper this time. That was, I think, Sean Searle's car, if I'm mistaken, because there's quite a few of those golf-colored Kias on circuit at the moment. Now that here comes Kelvin. Out of turn 1 he goes, and up to the hairpin at turn 2, which is the Remus hairpin. Well, it's actually turn 3 officially, because that little kink on the right hand side of the screen that turns left, that's considered turn 2 for some reason, so we have to forgive that part. Then up to proper turn 2, which is the Remus hairpin, the side of Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen's infamous clash back in 2019, as he comes out of there cleanly. And Miko did mention in the lap just now, it has a bit of a bump. That can easily upset the car slightly if you're on the throttle too early and the car jumps, and you can easily slide there. Then through Albon corner, or officially called Schlossgård, but due to the fact that in 2020, that infamous incident with Lewis Hamilton and Alex Albon, we've come to call it Albon corner. Then through the last section, the second and third sectors, where it's pretty much close to how the original circuit was. This is actually a continuation of the old Oostenrijk ring that Miko also mentioned in his lap. Fastest so far right now for Kelvin in the first 2 sectors. Purple, obviously, because he's, I think, the first guy to cross through, because he started his lap quite early. And now through the Rin curve, named after the posthumous 1970 world champion Jochen Rin. And the last corner here, Red Bull, the Red Bull mobile corner, named obviously because of Red Bull also being a mobile provider in Austria. And up to the line he goes. Let's see if this time is as fast as his practice time. Yes, it is. It's a 1:36, and he's only about 2/10 off from his leaderboard time. So it goes to show he's on the pace, and he's 1.1 seconds faster than Reynaldo Giuli.
Yeah, good lap there by Kelvin Pao. He'll be very pleased with that. There's enough time for him to do a lap. This is actually quite a short lap at A1. Red Bull Ring. I keep calling it by the old name. But Reynaldo Giuli from Indonesia is in second position at the moment. Let's see if he can find a bit more time. Ooh, was a bit of a messy turn 1, wasn't it? He's not actually gone quicker. I wonder if he'll abort this lap and try and start again. But up to P2 now is Andre Janssen Villeneuve.
Villeneuva.
Ooh, look at that, it's gone quickest in Sector 1.
By almost 800ths of a second. So this is the guy that we are looking up for as well, because he was only 3/10 off in practice to Kelvin Pao, as John Mcgregor goes second. So that's one of the brand new drivers in the same championship as well. But we're looking closely here at Janssen Villeneuva. Up to Albon corner. And he's going to break the second timing beam soon, because he's at the double left-hander through turns 4 and 5 with the Roush curve and the Wolf curve. And also we have to note that turn 5 was also where Mick Schumacher went off in his title-winning season. Of course, that was the first round of the F2 championship. He went off right there. Oh, he nearly went off to where Schumacher ran off that time. Is it going to cost him time? Yes, it is. I think because that has actually invalidated his lap time.
Yo, such a shame. He was up at that point, challenging for pole position. Like you said, I think that's invalidated his lap. But he has got enough time to try and do another lap, hasn't he?
Yep, he does.
Let's see. Let's ride on board with John Mcgregor right now as he comes across the line. Is he finishing a lap? Was he starting a lap? I think he's starting a lap.
Yeah, he did. He restarted back his lap. So not sure why some of the drivers, when they know that they can go for immediately another lap, they try to reset, because with such a short qualifying session being about 6 minutes, you don't really have fuel or tire wear, so you can just go for it straight away. But nonetheless, we're not going to question what the drivers do. McGregor's on for another one, and is this time on the screen? Because it looks like it isn't. Oh no, now finally it does. as I said it, 3/10 off in the first sector.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that. That's not really where he wants to be, is it?
Nope.
Yep, he's restarting. He's going to start that lap again.
No, he doesn't have enough time to cross the line even, so he's going to consign himself. Oh, he's going to go for it anyway, but he will not have enough time to cross because due to the fact that race room will just immediately close the session once the time's up. It's almost akin to F1 when they introduced the knockout qualifying system back in 2006.
Yeah.
Once the time's up, it's up.
Well, let's have a look then at Janssen here. Andre, he's decent sector 1, not as quick as. I mean, I think Kelvin Pao's gone a little bit quicker. He has.
Yep.
But still, he's within fighting range, isn't he? He could still snatch pole.
He's in second at the moment, at least, because he's fast. His personal best, that's why it's green. So he's only a 10th off Kelvin. Oh, he's fast in the second sector by almost 700s. So he managed to find time in the second sector there. This will be interesting. Third sector.
Runs wide. This is going to be close. Looks like it's just about. Look at him on the bottom right. He looks calm and composed. He's not happy there. He knows he's made a mistake. But will this be good enough for pole? Maybe the front row for sure.
Yeah, let's see then. Through the final 2 corners, through the ring curve and through the Red Bull curve coming up now. Looks pretty smooth and looks pretty composed here. But will it be enough as he comes across the line? No, it looks like it isn't. I think he should be about second place as he comes across the line now. And it is... Oof. No, it's still 6. He didn't improve at that time. So he actually lost a lot of time in that second to last sector.
Yeah, very not happy with that at all. But look at the order right now. Kelvin Pao in pole position. I don't think this is his first pole. I think he had a pole last Global Edition as well. Kenneth Wong and Brandon Watanabe from nowhere into P2, the Filipino driver. And he's ahead of Kenneth Wong from Singapore, Sage Nico, John Mcgregor, Dimas Muhammad, Andre Janssen, Sean Xia, Joey Gutierrez, and Nicky Lim. Nicky Lim sneaks to the top 10 as well.
Nice one there from the racing writer. He's definitely going to be pleased with that one and so psyched. And also Brian Chua, 14th. He's also one of the drivers that I know personally, and he's looking good at the moment. Only 1.5 seconds off. He can make that time up in the race. Andrew Kondolakis, Abdurazi Yazat, some of the other notables. Yeah. And Jamil Hassan, one of the a very brand new sim racing driver that I've met personally that I kind of guided him into it. So glad to see he's not that far off either.
And also, I saw Keith Moe there in 20th position. Keith Moe, I think he's 8 years old. So we got an 8-year-old racing this race as well. We have had 8-year-olds racing this race before. Axel Nocum did very well in copper. He's up in bronze. We'll see him later from Philippines.
Of course, Sage.
Sage is young as well, isn't he? How old is Nico's really young.
9, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, these guys are that's phenomenal. But it's great to see. We're coming up now with race 1. The grid is set. Should be an exciting race.
Indeed, and the fact that we know that copper can provide some really good racing. It can be messy sometimes as we see one guy still a bit late. Nope, he's back. He's out on track right now. So 15 seconds to go then of the first race of the brand new ERGP Global Edition season. This is season 5 then. Copper class, round 1, race 1. We're waiting for the lights and they come on now. And season 5 is underway as Kelvin gets an absolute shock over start. Actually, he's bugged it a bit. He's tried to cut across Ben Watanabe. Watanabe gets a run on him as Kenneth Wong around the outside. He's going to be sandwiched by 2 white and blue cars as he manages to somehow get the whole shot and he takes the lead. Coming out of the first corner, but Kenneth Wong around the outside takes the lead back and he actually has nicked it away from Kelvin Pao. He's up to first with a sensational start. Brandon Watanabe, we're watching in the inside right now, being pursued by John Mcgregor as well. Mcgregor on the inside, alongside him, and Kelvin Pao also on the inside as 2 of the cars go underneath him. Somehow Watanabe manages to hold on to the 3rd place, but so far at least it's a pretty good start from the entire field.
Wow, Kenneth Wong there in P1. That's a perfect start, perfect couple of corners. Look at the exit he got out of turn 2 there, just going away. Kelvin Pao having to defend into turn 3 there. Oh, but he's run wide there. Will that allow Watanabe to come back at him? John Mcgregor there in 4th position. So it's all very clean racing so far. I don't know about you, Ammo, but I'm shocked. Normally in Copper class, we get carnage at the first 3 corners. That looked like a really good start by everyone.
Indeed. And looks like they pretty much have seen it all after the first 4 seasons, so they probably know each other by now, some of these drivers. They're keeping it clean and composed. But Kenneth Wong here, the surprise of the lot, because in qualifying, yes, he was not that far off either. It was about 5 times off in qualifying from Kelvin Pao. But that start that he made was an absolute beaut. He managed to stick it around the outside and just kept the lead away from Kelvin Pao. But now Kelvin Pao is still close enough to actually get within striking distance as we end the first lap of a brand new season. Season 5 is well truly underway. There's Kelvin in the inset.
Oh, he looks a bit calm. In qualifying, you could see his chest going up and down, so he was breathing very hard in qualifying. Geared himself up for that. That's why he got pole position. He looks a lot calmer now. He's right in the slipstream of Wong right now. So they come up to turn 2. Whoa, is he going to look down the outside? I think Wong's going to cover the inside of turn 2. No, there is space. I think Kelvin's thinking about it. Nope, last minute, he decides to go to the outside. Oh, yeah, not braking late enough there. And Wong easily covers the corner.
In fact, if he braked any later, he might have a chance around the outside, but at the risk of actually spinning off due to the fact that there's that bump where Miko mentioned in his onboard lap that could easily send him spinning. So Kelvin thinking about the long run here, and of course the championship, because there's only about 5 rounds in this season. So every single point that he's going to score, in fact, he just goes around the outside there through Albon corner, nearly doing what Albon did, but he tugs it back onto the outside, coming through the turn 5 as we would now be on board with Sage Nico.
Yeah, Sage Nico there. He's holding up a pack. He's just losing touch with the top 4 at the moment. But you can see, top 4 just disappearing a bit away from him. But he's doing a really good job of holding the lead.
Holding 5th place indeed, and not that far away from the rest of the peloton. We're gonna use that term again because due to the fact that DRS is gonna be a key thing here for the DTM guys. But that's a bit later. As Kelvin tries to go on the inside there through the red curve. Did he make the mistake? Looks like it is because the positions didn't change. Yeah, there we go. Kenneth actually managed to hang it out, but he ran very wide there. That might actually incur a bit of a track warning, so he might have to slow down a bit if he were to get a warning. There's Sage Nico on the inside. A very good setup that he has there.
Yeah, nice wheel.
Very nice wheel. It's a Fanatec DD1 I was taking. Ooh. And overtaking there from Lim Nicky, or is it Janssen? No, Janssen goes to the inside of Lim Nicky, and that's Janssen Villaneuva, who we thought is going to be challenging for the front of the grid, is now moving up through the order. At least he's up to 6. As Nico looks like he's going to be taking off the space, by the way, that is lined up.
Well, Nico there driving by his own. How so old is he? Is he 8 or 9 years old? Good job by the young boy here.
Yep.
So it's getting nice and toasty. I'm really pleased with the quality of the racing we've seen so far. Like I said, Copper Class normally, it's for the guys who are brand new to racing. A lot of these guys on this grid will never have done a race before like this. And so far, everyone's performing well. Look at that. Oh, Pao looks to the inside. There's still space on the inside. I think he could have kept going. Wong wasn't covering it the whole way. I think Pao should have tried for the inside a bit more. But I have to say also, these last 2 corners, they're super hard to overtake on, aren't they?
Yeah, unless you're on a MotoGP bike. We've seen some dramatic finishes in MotoGP, for example, where riders could just switch back and forth. And we saw last year's MotoGP race at Austria. 3 riders were batting all the way for the line until a KTM rider by the name of Miguel Oliveira just ducked in on the 2 riders that he was chasing, managed to go from 3rd to 1st. So it's possible on a bike, not so in a car, due to the fact that they're much bigger, obviously. So we're not going to see very big boy dives at the final corner like in MotoGP, but nonetheless, you can never know if anyone were to try. And speaking of trying, Abdurazi Azaz trying to put a move on Lim Nicky.
Wow, look at that. He's all over the back of Lim Nicky. Was he going to try and get down the inside? Oh, yeah, go for it, man. Oh, he does have a try. Nicky gives him some space, and he makes it through. Good move by Razak there. And he should hold on to the position from that point of view.
Well, in fairness to Nicky, he might have been a bit too courteous there. He actually could have defended. Now he's trying to be back on the offensive. Yeah. Abdurazi has a defense onto the inside.
He's too far away now at this point. He's going to try and dive down the inside. Nah, he's too far away. Let's go a little bit further back. I want to look at...
Oh, and it's hit! He has been hit! He was hit! And it was either Kalav Abduraza or Kelvin Mo. Mo, so that was actually a big hit there. But luckily... Yeah. Nicky managed to hold on to it as more drivers go off behind there.
Look, I just have to talk about this driver for a quick second. Keith Mo, wow, he's very young. I think he's 8 years old. What a good job this young boy is doing. He's been coming to the academy a lot to do a lot of training. For someone so young, that's just remarkable, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that look at his steering wheel that he's using, as we saw some smoke trails coming through turn 5 and 6 there, so I thought someone went off, but it doesn't look like it from my screen. Oh, might have been Andrew Condrolakis because he's dropped further behind, so that might have been the cause of it. But nonetheless, Keith Mo then doing absolutely well in his first competitive race, I think.
Yeah, I think this is his first competitive race. He's doing outstanding.
Oh, and onto the inside. There's a bit of a touch. Oh, it's into the barrier. Is that Brandon Watanabe? It is.
Yes.
Brandon Watanabe gets knocked out there by one of the golf colored cars. As he was trying to defend on the outside, he's back into the race there. but somehow
Oof.
that little slide that he had coming out of the first corner smacked into the side of another car and he's into the barriers. Luckily, damage is not too severe. In fact, I think there's no damage in Copper Class, so he's free to continue on. But that might have been a big moment in terms of whether or not he could actually qualify on pole for the next race, because I think top 12 is the pole position for this category.
I think top 10 today. We draw it randomly. I think top 10. He's just outside the top 10 for the reverse grid. But yeah, good to see him going. The car looks in one piece. We do have damage as limited for this class. But of course, when we go to gold, silver, and bronze, then we use full damage.
Meanwhile, back up in front there, Kenneth Wong now in a train of 3 drivers. So these guys are in a class of their own. 2 Singaporeans and 1 Malaysian sandwich in between them. We're going to see it go all the way. We've got 7 minutes left to go. Half the race gone and half the race to go, as Murray Walker, the late great Murray Walker has once said. And we have had a great race so far here, with Kenneth Wong leading the way since from the start. But Kelvin Pao looks like he is very hungry to reclaim back the pole position that he lost after bogging the start somewhat. And he's still chasing him. Kenneth then holding his own, while John Mcgregor quietly is running up in third, watching brief here, just in case if the two of them in front of him will wipe each other out.
Yeah, McGregor's doing a good job there. It's new to E-Racing GP. He's just shadowing the top 2, isn't he? McGregor, they're just watching nicely. Kelvin is just not being able to go around. And when you're in this sort of racing and you're defending from the front like this, if the guy in second has not made his way through, the guy in first has just kind of sussed him out. And I think Kenneth Wong has sussed out Pao. Pao has not been able to take the overtakes, the opportunities that came his way. And Wong is looking a lot more comfortable out in front. Although I have to say, I think Kelvin Pao might be quicker than Wong. And if he could get by, I think he would pull away.
Yep. And judging by the pace in qualifying, which was about 5 tenths between them from first and third, Kenneth might be looking over his shoulder thinking that he needs to hold on to this guy for much longer. But he must... Oh, he nearly loses it there, Kelvin. And John McGregor likewise has to have a rear guard action. He needed to brake on time. But despite that mistake, Kelvin Pao is still at the back. He's going to go through the inside here through turn 4. Does he? Smacks him a bit out of the way. That's a bit hard, but that's quite fair. And Kelvin Pao takes the lead.
Wow, how about that? Well, good move there. You're right, there was some contact. We do allow contact in ERGP, but was it over the top? We don't know. It'll be down to the stewards to decide.
But Kenneth Wong will not take that lying down. He's back up to the rear wing of Kelvin Pao. He might not be pleased with that one bit. Yes, the defending was a bit robust as well, but nonetheless, it was clean, fair racing, and they're still both in it. As he goes onto the inside, this is going to be a MotoGP style move. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. Over the sausage curve. They're side by side across the line, and John McGregor might be licking his lips in glee here. If both of them would take each other right now, and he'll take his first ever win in GP and only his first start, I think.
Wow, so Pao just holds on for now. Wong, though, is all over the back of him. And like you said, McGregor there, just with a watching brief. I couldn't believe that as they went side by side through that last corner. I thought for sure one of them was going to get spat off into the pit wall. But they survive for now. Will Pao defend the inside? Looks like he's defending the inside. He's not defending enough. Wong's having a look. Ooh, that's almost a double move there. Drivers have to make sure they only stick to one move. Oh, and McGregor down the inside. Good move.
Whoa, what a lunge.
Wow, so Wong down to third now. And with Pao in front, will Pao be able to stretch his legs and just try and move away from this top 3? The guys just behind him.
Well, with McGregor and Wong now fighting. In fact, Wong goes back to the inside. Does he break in time? No, he doesn't. And that big lockup, look at that trailer he left behind. And that would definitely mean he's out of running unless McGregor can challenge Pao. And they both will actually hold each other up so that Kenneth can be back in the action. That was a little bit too ambitious. They're trying to reclaim back the position. It is a downhill slope, that corner, and if you carry too much momentum, you're going to lock out like the way Kenneth did. And luckily then, he didn't end up into the kitty litter. Otherwise, he would really have his race ruined. Yeah,
just showing a little bit of inexperience there, isn't he, Ammo?
Slightly, but I think Kenneth is a real-life driver, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Kenneth Wong, the actual touring car driver or something? But he might have known about the racing line there. The way to race there is to not really retaliate back too soon. Otherwise, you might actually end up being second worst. And luckily there, he kept it together. But now he's about 1.5 seconds behind McGregor. He's got a lot to do here with the last 3.5 minutes that remain. Yeah, so let's look at this battle for 4th position. Sage Nico and Janssen. Janssen, though, got back up to 4th position. Let's see if he can pull away from the young driver. This is a good battle here between 4th and 5th. We'll come back to that in a sec. Let's go back to Yassid Rasad. Whoa, Nicky. This battle is still going on between him and Nicky Lim. And I think Nicky Lim has just made his way past. No, that's actually Dimas Muhammad.
Ah.
Okay,
so yeah, Dimas Muhammad, that's right.
Yeah, that's might be Dimas, the guy that actually touched with Brandon Watanabe that caused Watanabe to smack into the barriers at turn 1. So That might but just be a racing incident because he was losing it as Raza tries to go to the inside and they touch each other, and that was almost akin to Nick Heidfeld and Takuma Sato's accident. Well, granted, Sato actually went off even more dramatically than that. You were actually there, I think, Alex.
I think it was. I just remember seeing a smoke and a yellow car flash down the inside. But yeah, good battle. This look down the inside, Nicky Lim out breaking himself, but I think just holding on for now.
Indeed, he is, and side by side they go there. Raza is around the outside, and Dimas might not be pleased with that maneuver that Raza did earlier, and he gets his position back. He's at the 6, but all the while they are fighting, they're bringing Lim Nicky back into play, and Nicky then is going to do what Mcgregor did and probably watching brief to wait for these two to knock each other out.
A little bit further behind them, we got Sean Siar there, Muhammad Ilyas there as well. He's done a good job after a poor qualifying. And then Azmi Arifin, followed by Joey Gutierrez and Brandon Watanabe. Wow, he really did fall all the way back. He hasn't been able to get back up into the top 10. It's not going to be good for the reverse grid later, though.
But he's still within a shout because he's behind Gutierrez. Gutierrez there goes off at turn 7 as Villanueva is under attack from Sage Nico. Nico goes on the inside but couldn't make the mistake. He comes back for the switchback, and Janssen Villaneueva gets his 4th place back. Nicky then putting this guy under real pressure.
Yeah.
Such is the driving that he's putting off today, and indeed for throughout the time that he's been in the championship, he's improving bit by bit and he's showing really good racecraft. Meanwhile, Dimas Muhammad then has actually lost the intentions as Lim Nicky tries to go on the inside. Not this time. He might have actually duped him into thinking there's been I was about to say duped him into a mistake, and he nearly did. Nicky nearly went on to the inside as Yazir Raza has fallen further behind there. Don't know what happened in between the period that we actually moved away from them, but the white car that was right behind the golf colored car has fallen back to 9th place.
Yeah, so we should actually go back to the front and see how Kelvin Pao and John McGregor's doing. Ooh, small gap now.
Small gap, and we only have about 50 seconds left to go, so by the time they cross the line this time by, it'll be the final lap, and McGregor has to mount an absolutely insane final lap to get any hope of himself to actually win the first race of the season, and indeed the first race of the Copper Class season as well. So he's got 1 lap to do so, 1.2 seconds to make up. It looks a bit impossible here.
It does. Now in 3rd place, Kenneth Wong there. He's not been able to catch up to the front 2. He's just lost back a bit. Andre Johnson there in 4th position. Sage Nico there dropped back a little bit from 5th. But we still have a great battle going on for 6, 7, 8 of 9th. Cars going wildly off track to the last 2 corners. 1 more lap to go.
Yeah, 1 more lap to go, and we already got another race after this, and it will be a reverse grid. So plenty of carnage will be ensuing there, I'm pretty sure. But right now we're watching the end of the first race of the season, and Dimas Muhammad holding on to 6th place for Lim Nicky. Nicky looking hungry to get an even better position to where he is right now. 6 and 7 on the road, on camera right now. We're watching coming up to turn 2. Nicky has the slipstream. Dimas has the line. He's not going to block yet. Nicky goes onto the inside. Does he get the most stick? Can he break in time? They touched. And that is almost akin to Leclerc and Verstappen. But who is Verstappen in this case? It looks as though Nicky's trying to push him a bit wide, push him into the inside of the grass there. Dimas gets back his 6th place. Nicky can get the move done.
Yeah, I think that was about fair. I think, now Nicky's going to try again. He's going to try and outbrake himself. Oh, he's going to outbrake himself. And, so Nicky doing some late maneuvers, not able to do it, and Dimas Muhammad retakes the position.
And I did say that he was a bit courteous earlier with his defending, while he was absolutely brutal with his attacks in there for a second. So, two sides of Nicky that are being shown live on camera here right now, but I'm pretty sure he is going to be happy with 7th place nonetheless, and he'll be looking forward to race 2. One guy who's also going to be looking forward to race 2 will be Kelvin Pao, who actually got nicked at the start for his pole position, claimed it back after a sensational overtaking maneuver on Kenneth Wong. He will take the first race win of the Copper Class, and indeed the first ever race for this season for ERGP. Weaves across the line, and that's a win for Kelvin Pao.
I have to clap at that. Well done. Kelvin Pao's improved so much. We saw the Global Edition 4, he could be quick, but he wasn't very good with the pressure. But he handled the pressure today, didn't he? Pole position, like you said, lost it off the start, came back fantastically. What a good job. Actually, you want to see if we can go and have a quick chat with him? Yeah, Kelvin Pao, if he wants to have a quick chat with us. We'll see if we can unmute him first. Kelvin, can you hear us? What a race! Good. Awesome under pressure.
Yeah, just doing what I could and just keep I just tell myself, just don't make any stupid mistake. Please until the end. Wish for the best. That's what I'm hoping for only.
Well done. Fantastic. I'm going to leave you now so you can focus on the next race.
He's over the moon, and in fact that he didn't do any stupid mistakes. The only mistake he made was at the start where he just bogged it a bit. Maybe he didn't put it in first gear. Maybe he didn't put it on a lower traction control settings, because these cars actually have traction control, so you can actually put it on a lower setting to let a bit more wheel spin off the line, but not too much that you're gonna bog it on the other, getting too much wheel spin on the line. So probably he just left it at default setting and the car bogged a bit. But nonetheless, it's a great fight back, and that's the first points of the season going to him. And I think fastest lap also went to Kelvin Pao. Yes, it is. Fastest lap, 136.9.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the official results to come out. We've got plenty of time there.
36.2, sorry.
There we go. Confirmation. You want to take us through this, Ammo?
Yep, so Kelvin Pao gets the first win of the season in Copper Class. John Mcgregor second, Kenneth Wong third, completing a Singapore second and third on the rostrum. Janssen Villaneuva managed to fend off Sage Nicky for fourth. Nico fifth. And Dimas Muhammad 6th, Sean Sia 7th, Nim Nicky 8th, 9th Mohamed Elias, and 10th was, just now the results went by so quickly, 10th was Azmi Arifin. So top 10 then was some of the drivers that we saw from the previous season, and they look doing well here.
Yeah, and so it's the top 10 reverse, so that puts Arifin on pole.
Yep.
Reverse grid. Race 2 is always about reverse grid. We used to reverse the whole grid, and that was fun. We used to see carnage all the time. We kind of calmed it down a bit, and we're just going to do top 10 for round 1. We might change it for round 2, but yeah, Arafin's on pole. What do you know about this driver?
I think he's with the Stratos organization, not mistaken. If James could correct me there, I need to refresh my memory, but yeah, a Stratos driver on pole. Stratos driver on pole position will be a great way to start the season for them as well, to get points on the board, because the team championship of course counts for all 4 classes. Now then, Azmi on pole. Second beside him is Mohamed Elias, who had a bit of a scrappy race as well towards the end. As we are waiting for the red lights to come on, 5 lights were illuminated here at the Red Bull Ring. And for the second time, and last time for the Copper Class at least, we are underway. There's the green light, and we're off. Azmi Arifin gets a good start, but Elias is going to get alongside him. But no, Azmi Arifin will get the whole shot, and he takes the lead. Lim Nicky looking really racy behind there, as, whoa, a bit of a touch between Elias and Azmi Arifin as cars in the background spin, and I think Keith Moore is one of the cars involved there because he was in the light blue car that we saw earlier. But nonetheless, the top 10 stream away from the mid-pack that have been involved in a kerfuffle at the start. We're looking at, that's not Azmi Arifin, I think that's Sean Sia. Azmi Arifin managed to hang on to pole position. Lim Nicky on the inside, coming out to second as multiple orange and blue colored cars that look like the golf colors stream through turn 2. As Azmi Arifin has an 8-10th lead over Lim Nicky, Mohamed Elias second, and Dimas Muhammad trying to challenge Elias onto the inside there. This is the kind of racing we see in Copper, and reverse grid races are often very exciting.
Wow, 3 abreast there. Elias on the outside is getting hung out to dry. And Sage Nico and Sean Sia go through. Nico with a great start, actually, up to 5th position. Further back, we got Kelvin Pao. There he is. Wow, he's right in the mix of a gaggle of cars. This is the race 1 leader. He needs to try and keep it clean in these reverse grids. It's always tempting to be super aggressive. But, you know, these drivers are fighting for positions as well. And often we see carnage. But again, not today. I'm so surprised. Another race 2 in the Copper Class, and we haven't seen a huge pileup.
Well, apart from turn 1 just now, we saw several cars spinning in the background.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as it normally is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And
it's
look
actually,
at it.
it's, but yeah, good to see, good standard driving out there.
And look at that, the stream of cars currently in a snake. Not much overtaking. Well, actually, plenty of shuffling is going on, but real overtaking is going to happen soon. And Lim Nicky here is going to try to go for the win. Azmi Arifin on the outside. Nicky goes on the inside at turn 1. And Lim Nicky leads an ERGP race for the very first time. Can he hold it? Yes, he does. Aggressively defends as further behind there's a black and gold car spinning in the background. That might be Kelvin Pao. It's Kelvin Pao who's actually half spun and he's dropped to 14th.
Wow, we'll have to go back to Kelvin Pao, race 1 winner. We just talked about not making that mistakes, and he's just made that mistake on lap 2. However, this is, 12, 13 minutes to go. There is enough time for him to recover. He needs to try and get well into the top 10 to try and score some points. Oh, who's that? That's just gone into the side of him and taken the position.
Khalaf Abdulrazak. So Khalaf there with an absolutely dive-bombing maneuver. And in fact, he's going to get swamped even more because there's a few other cars right in front. It's almost going to be four abreast, 3 abreast behind there, coming to turn 4. This is going to end in tears for somebody if they don't break in time. Oh, that's just 3 wide. That's amazing. Somehow they didn't crash. As Limnicki actually has overtaken for the lead. He's now 4 tenths ahead of Azim Merrifield. We're watching for the battle further behind. This is insane racing.
Wow, 4 abreast, you're right. I thought for sure there'd be carnage. Oh, Adam Kondralochis spins, but managed to recover to keep going. Normally there's huge carnage, but somehow they survived. There's Muhammad Ilyas there in the white car surviving at the moment.
Wow, wait. And yes, Ilyas was involved in the skirmishes at the tail end of the top 10. Managed to get to 9th in the first race. Qualified up to 2nd, but he dropped well behind to 11th place. So a disastrous first lap for him. And he's going to have to play catch up until then. As meanwhile, we're looking up in front. This is 1st to 6th at the moment, with Andre Janssen Villaneuva in 6th behind the tail end of the snake, trying to overtake Sage Nico, who he was being pressured by during the first race. Now it's his turn to actually play the Intimidator in the fittingly black and gold color cars, reminiscent of Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s colors back in NASCAR in those days. So
wow.
You can see he's the Intimidator.
If you can remember that far back. He's going to look to the outside there of Sage Nico, but Nico comes. Oh, he darts back down the inside. Oh, moving in the direction there. Under braking there by Nico. He really has to watch that. You will get a penalty for those sort of movements in the braking zone.
Indeed, and but luckily he just actually held his line there and not actually collide with other drivers. So sometimes if drivers would be overzealous with their defending, they can end up just crashing another guy out. Luckily, we have not seen too much of that in this race, unless the stewards reports later will come out, will actually debunk that. But nonetheless, drivers have been defending quite well. The driving standards has actually been impeccable at this race.
Yeah. Just going to focus on Nicky Lim here at the moment. He's brand new to E-Racing GP, or E-Racing full stop, to be honest, in Global Edition 4. This is how much he's improved. He's been a midfield runner. We saw him fighting earlier out in the top 10, but now he's at the front. Could be this a chance for him to win his first E-Racing GP race.
And incidentally, the trophy that you had just now was the trophy that he won during the GP Global Edition. So
yeah, well, yeah, he enjoyed the Endurance Edition, and they won the AM class, didn't they?
Yeah. So he'll be happy to see that his trophy is there. Might have been a good motivator for him to try win as... Oh! Further behind, there's been a collision there. Looks like Kenneth Wong touched the back of... Yes, it is Kenneth Wong who touched the back of Sean Seah. And Sean's been spat out into 9th place. The Singaporeans collide each other, and worse still for him, he's got the entire pack from behind the top 10 chasing up, and he's being swallowed up there. Unfortunately, he has Nikita Mazepin as his profile picture, so spinning probably was part of the theme.
I don't think you should put Mazepin as your profile picture, dude. You're just asking for spins, aren't you? Some carnage behind there as well. Cars going everywhere. Watanabe there just getting back on track. Oof, wow, look at this. Slipstream fest indeed. That's why I love coming to the Red Bull Ring. We always have great racing here, don't we?
Yeah, indeed. And the fact that ever since F1 came here back in 2014, we've had some really good races. And in the GP, it's no exception. We've seen plenty of good racing so far. And Watanabe there mounting the curve. We've seen plenty of drivers doing that. I'm quite surprised because normally, for me personally, I would not try to mount that saucy curve on the inside coming up to turn 2. But these drivers are taking it as if it's free real estate. So they're brave enough to actually use that as... Whoa, there's a green car running into the back of a black car. That might have been Sri Murugan hitting the back of Kelvin Pao. And Kelvin has been swamped up. Oh! Keith Moe runs into the back of him as well. So the first race winner's having an absolute mare in the second race.
Yeah, so... cars in the background there. Who was that?
I think that was Kelvin hitting Keith Moe. Oh, Brian Chua actually gets spun around, I think. That might have been Brian. Yes, it was Brian. He got sent around. Oh, it's all kicking off now, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, it is. So the guys who are doing well in race 1 just getting involved in a lot of incidents. There is one guy, and it's one of the youngest guys in the field, doing pretty good. That's Sage Nico. He's up to P3. Look at that for the youngster.
And has he won a race yet in the GP, Alex?
I don't think so. I don't think he's finished on the podium before either.
So this might be his first ever podium. We had to check back with the records, of course, from previous seasons. It might be his first podium, but he'll be dang sure he wants to get his first win, and he's looking good to do so because he's up to the inside of Dimas Muhammad. Muhammad ran a bit wide there. Dimas tries to hold on the outside, but it's going to be futile, isn't it? Because Sage Nico has the line on the inside, side by side between the identical cars, number 007 at the front, 223 on the side. As Dimas holds it around the outside, somehow manages to keep it together there. This is almost like touring car racing with the way that they're touching each other. Wow,
great move by Dimas, so hanging around the outside. He lives for now, but he's got another right-hander coming up. Can he go around the outside again? Who's going to break latest? Whoa, they both go. Dimas, he just gives enough space to the apex. Perfectly done.
And
Oh!
Nikki goes wide. Nikki goes wide, and Sage Nico gets 2 positions in one go. What a move. And look at that. He is absolutely psyched. He's smiling with that one. He's on course for his first win.
Wow, let's see if he can keep the pressure. He was smiling just now, and now he's not smiling. He knows he still has to finish the race. Pressure's on these young shoulders. Look how serious he is, leaning into the corner, even though it's on the sim. But wow, good move there. Obviously helped by Nicky Lim there. But wow, Nico into the lead.
Very opportunistic maneuvers, shall we say. It's almost akin to like Michael Schumacher with his opportunities making overtaking maneuvers. It's almost like back in 98 in Monza where Coulthard blew his engine, Hakkinen hesitated, and he just went onto the inside and perfectly executed the move there. Granted, it's not the exact same maneuver, but the way that it was done, Nicky was just opportunistic in getting the move done, and he is up to first. And Dimas Muhammad might be kicking himself there for braking a bit too late and didn't see Nicky in time to actually stop Nico from taking the lead. As further behind, Azmi Arifin gets shoved out of the way by Janssen Villaneuva. Janssen then up to 5th. That's a fair maneuver because rubbing is racing, as we should say, unlike what F1 would have you believe.
Yeah, so good job there by Jensen. Good job to get back up there. John Mcgregor also has gone past Yazid. So these are some of the guys who are running the top. Ooh, contact! There's a mistake and a half. But it looks like Arifin holds on for now.
And McGregor just about keeps it together as well. There was massive lockouts from both drivers. But luckily in this case, they both are still alive in the race and they're on for some good points. But nonetheless, the guy in front will probably be the guy that they're chasing in front will probably, they want to get his position to get better points. As someone goes off there. It's Nicky again. Nicky's off again, and Azmi Arifin goes off as well.
Yeah, so Nicky's not going to win his first race, and Arifin they got a bit unlucky. I think McGregor punted him from the back and put him off, so he's dropped back. But back at the front, we've just missed this. Dimas Muhammad Dimas has got past Sage Nico, and he's now into the lead.
Wow. Now both drivers are on for their first wins, but who's gonna get it? We got 5.5 minutes left to go to decide that. As further behind, Kenneth Wong is now also watching brief, so he's doing what McGregor did in that first race and trying to see if both drivers will try to take each other out. Nearly did so there through the rim curve. Kenneth tries to go to the inside, says Nico. Nico holds on. Nico then trying the aggressive move of going onto the curve and trying to mount it, but unfortunately Dimas had the better momentum and now he has to regroup himself. He's only about 4 tenths behind. 5 minutes left to go. Anything can still happen, and any of these drivers will get their first wins of the season.
Yeah, Janssen there just holding on from Nicky Lim. John McGregor stalking him just behind. A little bit further back, Azmi Arifin is there trying to recover after going off.
Indeed, and what happened to McGregor? I don't see him in that picture at the moment. No, he's actually in front of these guys. There he is. He actually pulled away from these guys.
Oh, Nicky Lim down the inside of Janssen. Good job there.
Oh, but he actually didn't make the mistake because he ran a bit too deep. And now they're going to go side by side, coming up to Albon Corner, turn 3, officially on the track. Even though it's actually turn 4 sometimes, but that's just the peculiarities of the Red Bull Ring. As Nicky tries to defend now. Well, actually, he was actually attacking. Now he's trying to defend, and unfortunately, that defense is futile as Janssen Villaneuva gets the inside line and the line. But Nicky can still fight back. They're going side by side then through turn 4 and 5. Does he get the mistake? No, he doesn't. Nicky didn't have the line there to actually get back at Janssen. He tries to go back on the inside. Does he? No, he can't. McGregor then watching brief again. But that is the kind of racing that we see here. Some of these guys might be experiencing the close combat battles, but they have been doing absolutely well here tonight, take each other out. Yeah. And the racing has been absolutely spectacular.
And we also missed this, actually. Sage Nico in second position, but he was overtaken by Kenneth Wong for a moment. But Nico managed to get back in front as they come out of the last corner now. A couple more laps to go, and you've got a feeling that this battle for the lead is going to go all the way to the end, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to see it go a 3-way scrap a la MotoGP style back in 2020. I think it was during the steering Grand Prix that I mentioned earlier about Miguel Oliveira claiming the first win ever for KTM, and incidentally right on their home circuit as Sage goes a bit wide there.
Yeah.
And Kenneth Wong now has the line. They're going side by side. 3 drivers in one picture gonna go. This is gonna be ugly if any one of them were to hate each other.
Yep, so Kenneth he breaks too early. Allow Sage to go through. Wong just not having the right aggression there to go down the inside. And Nico survives for now.
And in fact, Kenneth also survives for now because I think he thought forward and thought that, well, if he broke too late, he's going to take out not only himself but also Dimas Muhammad, and that will let Nico just go scampering away for the win. So he's thinking about a good attack at the moment as, oh, he touches Nico a bit right there. And they're going side by side. It's almost 3 wide again coming through turn 4. This has been the theme of this entire round as Nico then goes on the inside. It is definitely 3 wide this time. And who's going to get the lead? Nico does. Nico takes the lead. Second is Kenneth Wong. Third is Dimas Muhammad. Dimas then. Oh, he's almost like the big loser out of that.
It's tapped.
They tapped each other and somehow they did not spin.
Oh, it's getting a bit rough here. I got a feeling the stewards are going to have to step in a little bit later.
Oh man, and
Nico runs wide.
Or as a matter of fact, Kenneth actually cut the grass big time there trying to make the moves done. We've seen plenty of the drivers doing that. What happened to Nico? Is Nico out?
Too many incident points. Disaster. Too many incident points. We do have incident points on this track. You got maximum of 50 points here in Copper class. I did wonder about that because there was a lot of contact between those cars, and each time you have contact between a car, you get 4 incident points. And also if you go off track, you get incident points as well. And there was quite a few off tracks as well. So Sage Nico unlucky there. He was devastated. You saw his face.
Yeah.
Not able to finish the race because he was disqualified for having too many incident points.
Oh man. And I bet we wouldn't have. I don't think we'll have a word with him because he's probably pretty much gutted by that.
Yeah,
he
raced
absolutely. He raced absolutely so well, only to be sent out into retirement by that. As just, you just gotta take that. You just need to cool off for a while before you can actually talk to anybody about that.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's tough, but that's part and parcel of the game. You know the incident points. You got to keep track of them. And it often happens in this racing. You start having contact, and then you just forget about it, and then you just keep on having contact because you get more aggressive, and the driver you're knocking into, he gets more aggressive, and then it just builds up and builds up. So I would also say that Wong, who's leading right now, would be pretty high on incident points, as would Dimas Muhammad. So both these cars have to watch the off-track moments and any contact, because you could see these cars getting disqualified and teleported back to the pits.
Indeed, and in fact, I think Nico and Elias now are the only 2 drivers who have been actually disqualified from the race due to too many incident points. So they're the only 2 drivers, as we can probably see the silhouette of Nico's car on the side of pit lane as the drivers now start their final lap here with Kenneth Wong in the lead, and he will build on the promise of his 3rd place finish at the first race to actually take the initial lead of the championship.
Let's see if Kelvin Pao can make a move on Sri Murugan.
And he goes onto the inside there. Nope, not this time. Murugan is more keen to it. There's Sri Murugan right now, racing on his next level racing rig. Looking behind for a second, he knows that Kelvin is still there, and the 2 Malaysians will be added here for the tail end of the top 10 points. It has been a good round so far for both drivers, actually, at least for points, as Kelvin tries to go to the inside. That's a common theme, as we mentioned earlier. Drivers coming with a very deep overtaking maneuver at turn 2, but this time Sri Murugan is well aware of it, and he holds on to it, but he knows full well he can't let go Kelvin Pao of his sights.
Yeah, well, Pao did actually a good job to get back to the top 10. At least he's going to get some points. We'll have to go back to the front, though, because this battle's not over. Huh? Dimas is all over the back of Kenneth Wong here.
And Kenneth then, I think he's probably safe for now, unless Dimas will do the ultimate dive bomb of the century at the final 2 corners to actually take the race away from him. Not while he's doing that, he was on the AstroTurf and on the curb, nearly into the gravel. That has stalled his momentum, and that has definitely given Kenneth Wong victory in this race. And unfortunately not the fastest lap. Fastest lap is currently held by Janssen Villaneuva, but that would matter little to him, as Kenneth Wong then exits the final corner, comes across to the pit lane wall, and takes his first victory of the season to build on the 3rd place that he scored in the first race. 2nd is Dimas Muhammad, his first podium as well. 3rd, Janssen Villaneuva. 4th, Lim Nicky, who was recovering after leading for a while. 5th, John Mcgregor. 6th, Abdulaziz Yazir Azad. 7th, Sean Xia. 8th, Kelvin Pao, recovering after that first corner melee and dropping all the way to 14th at one point. 9th, Sri Murugan, and Brandon Watanabe recovering as well after that collision in the second race. recovers the 10th. So that's the top 10 after an amazing second race here for the copper class.
Yeah, really, really good. Have to say, Kenneth Wong there, though, he was the man. He led the race one, let's not forget, but made a couple small mistakes and dropped him back. But he'll be super pleased with this win in race 2. I think he actually will be the championship leader now.
Yep.
It'll be between him and Kelvin Pao. I think right up there.
Yep, indeed. I think he has a bit of a clear lead because due to the fact that he did score a podium in the first race, finishing 3rd, and a win here with Kelvin. Despite winning the first race, this second race result might set him back a bit. So it's only early days, it's only the first round of the championship, but every single point counts due to the fact that we have a very short calendar this time. I think about 5 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, the initial championship lead does go to Kenneth Wong, and the fastest lap for this race goes to Janssen. So I think, because I'm looking at the screen right now, I think, yep, Janssen Villaneuva does get the fastest lap after somehow surviving the onslaught of certain drivers as Lim Nicky goes side by side. I think they have the post-race driving on, so that's why they can actually just do this. They come out now to the final corner to go back into pit lane. An absolutely entertaining race. We'll wait for the final results to come on screen.
Yeah, final results. There they are. Amo, you want to take us through it?
Okay, so we already mentioned the top 10 here. 11 Ji Hong. Carter Lodges after the slight spin, 12. 13 Brian Chua after he recovered from his own slight spin. Keith Moore 14th. Joey Gutierrez 15th. Khalif Abdulrazak 16th. Andrew Lowe 17th. Dave Roberts driving on behalf of Actrovision Community Racing in 18th. 19th has Mary Finn, who was the pole sitter at the start, dropped all the way back to 19th. What a disastrous race he had. And that's pretty much it. That was an absolutely entertaining copper race, and can't wait for the bronze after this.
Absolutely. That's copper done and dusted. We got bronze coming up after that. But before we go to bronze, any other further comments you have, Amo?
Nothing much actually. Just looking for. But the racing was crazy. Absolutely crazy. You might think that the dive bomb on the inside for certain cars you can't do it, but for these Aquila cars, they can somehow just about make it jumping onto the curbs, especially at turn 2. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll be back with the bronze class, but we'll come back right after a few words from our sponsors.
Pewter is about possibilities. It is an idea made real. Crafted with precision. It can make tradition timeless. Pewter evolves. When allowed to be free, it can captivate you. Pewter is our legacy, and we're keeping the legacy alive. Royal Selangor, since 1885.
Things to be aware of organizing e-racing championship without race room. First, no automated leaderboard would always be labor intensive. Elimination round would be the only way to filter the winners. Having the participants adhering to the schedule would be a huge test. We need to know the task will get bigger when participants increases. Time consuming. Organizing e-racing championship without race room, it's all need run manually to take down the participants and eliminate them from first round group to final round group. Because it is manual human labor, there bound to be human error. Manual human labor would have a price tag for the man hours involved. New participants would never have chance. The e-racing clubs in the world will send their best racers to participate the race. But that means your championship exposure is just limited to the e-racing clubs. Why choose Race Room? Our 3E official championship have fully automated leaderboard. Participants can log in anytime to lead the fastest lap time within the qualifying period. Each of the racers already have their ranks with Race Room. Next, save time. You can have unlimited amounts of participants in a super short time to qualifying them to final race. Race Room can cover unlimited amount of participants. We have a full automated esports ecosystem from qualifying leaderboard to broadcast AI. Besides, Race Room's free contents lets everyone can participate to the race.